All right, so let me let y'all know, like, that video was an isolated incident that happened in December. No, I did not quit because that happened. So I am not like a spoiled brat because y'all told me something to do and now I'm mad. That was not me. Man, I'm gonna say this about YouTube and people on comments. People see it's a double, it's like a double sword type of situation. Like, and I know everybody isn't going to agree with you and what you did or what you think you should have done because whatever. I get it. That's the world we live in. But like, so that's why I take it with a grain of salt, because I'm like, not only are you helping the algorithm, you're helping my engagement and you're helping YouTube say, okay, let me push this into front of somebody else because it's getting a lot of traction. So I have to be like, you know what? I got to take it. Like, y'all saying you needy, you complaining, you this, like, well, you commenting is helping the video. So, but I'm going to get one thing clear. I'm not a complainer. I am not needy. If you call needy being needy, wanting more mouths to work, then I guess that's needy. Wanting them to cater to me, I never wanted them to cater to me. So, but I'm gonna give you, after that. So after that, that was December, and then we go into the next 3 months. The next 3 months, y'all, what I just focused on was driving and doing the job. I called my mom and told her, I said, you know what? I'm gonna just stop looking at the checks. I stopped looking at the checks, y'all. I was just like, I'm gonna just do the job, whatever. But this is the kind of work ethic I had when I was driving. Like, my trainer set me up really well and I ran just like he did. My day will start at 4 a.m. They know my day to start is 4 a.m. I want to be in the truck ready to go at 4 a.m. That's how I ran. But I never had a problem starting later, driving at night, driving in the day, driving in the rain, driving in the snow, driving in the ice. I did all of that. I never had a problem with that. That never was an excuse of saying, hey, I don't want to do this or whatever. I never did that. And I was so flexible, y'all. Like, I stayed out more than a week and I'm regional. So now that I'm thinking about it, though, I think this is a regional problem. When you're driving regional, hear me out. When you're driving regional and you want to make 2,000 to 2,500 miles a week, you can't drive less than 400 miles a day. And see, this is what I was getting. I would start on Monday. They would give me a load that's 40 miles away to go to Joliet. Pick that load up. And it won't deliver until tomorrow morning at 4 a.m. And it's only going 140 miles. You hear that? So that's only 200 miles for Monday. And that's it. If I start out like that, that's how my next loads are going to come down. Like, my fleet manager told me that. He said, this is what happens when you get these kind of loads. This is how your week goes. And it's not my fault. I'm not asking for that kind of load. And see, and then this is the other thing. He can't even tell. He doesn't control those loads. It's called the schedulers and the planners. I don't know their philosophy. I don't know if they're looking at, I think they're looking at how many hours of service I got and can I do it, and that's it. I don't think they're looking like, okay, we're going to set him up for the week. He go home on Friday or Friday night. Let's set him up for the week. I don't think they're doing that. And that's when I say I feel like I'm a number and not a person, because, like, and this is what they've done. Let me tell you this. Call it complaining or call it whatever. But this is what they ask. They give you a survey every week at the end of the week. And they ask, how is your week? How's the pay? How's the miles? What could we do better? They ask those questions. And so at first I was just like, I ain't doing that survey. I ain't doing it, whatever. I became like that. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. I did it. And they even give a star rating. You give 5 stars, 1 star, whatever. I did it. And I put on there, I said, look, these miles, I'm not able to make these little miles, this money. I'm having to do other stuff to make ends meet. When I did that, my fleet manager like, I did that on a Friday. He called me Monday and was like, keep doing the surveys. Please keep doing the surveys. He was like, my boss seen it. People are seeing it. Keep doing them. And I'm just like, well, okay, but you the fleet manager. You already know I want miles and all, but that's not enough. So like when I say there's a lot of hands in the pot, there are. Like, I don't know how many channels and protocols just to get a load down to you. I don't know who like dictates that. Is it if it's a load god, load king, or whoever? And so I kept doing them. I talked to my fleet manager's boss. We were sitting there looking at my pay stubs, trying to figure it out. And the only thing we could like agree on and see is just like, really, you don't have enough time in the company. It's your cent per mile. Like, even if I put you on a dedicated fleet and I run you 2,200 miles, it still was adding up to just driving reefer, because reefer, you get paid for live unloads, live loads. It still was balancing the same. Now, the flip side, I would have had way more work and driving way more. But I still would have been making the same money. And I'm just like, nah, I don't want to do that. I'll just stay on reefer because I'm trying to make more money. And so that's where it went. So, man, so let me tell you, like, y'all seen a Virginia video? Y'all seen a New York video? Like, I hustle for those. So for the next 3 months, I hustle. Like, I've been hustling in the entire time. Like, I'm the kind of driver. I remember I picked up a load. I got unloaded, and the next load didn't pick up to 6 in the morning the next day. I got there to the place at like 2:30ish. I went in there and I was like, hey, any way I can get this load early? He was like, nah, I'm done for the day. But you can dock at the door. You can be set up and we'll get you early in the morning. I dug him to the door. He come outside. He like, you know what? We got a lot of stuff tomorrow. And if I load you and knock you out today, there'll be one less truck we got to do. He was like, I'm about to load you now. I was jumping up and down. He loaded me. And I was in Wisconsin. He loaded me and I called my fleet manager. I said, hey, you know the next pre-plan? I said, he's loading me now. Can I run it? Now, see, that was a Tuesday. It was due to pick up Wednesday. It didn't deliver until Thursday. And I had it Tuesday. So he told me, let me know when you're out, give me an ETA. If you were to run it, give me an ETA when you were delivered. So I just gave him a time when I could do, like I say, the next day, 12 o'clock. They end up relaying that to Gary. So I didn't run it. He was like, we're going to relay it to Gary. And I remember that night, I think I went home. And then I got in the truck. What's my start time? 4 a.m. I was in the truck at 3. I sat there, went back to sleep, took a nap, waiting for a new pre-plan. I think they gave me a pre-plan at 7 or something, which was cool. Whatever. I wasn't complaining about that. And so that's the kind of stuff I did. Like, I ran. I remember during the wintertime, I did a recovery load. They was like, hey, can you take this load? There's a driver. He ran out of hours. He's at a truck stop. Can you give him your empty? You can take the load in and deliver it. I was like, yeah, cool. Let's do it. Cool. And I did it. So, like, I was that kind of worker. I was not a complainer. I didn't have all these caveats. Like, I can only do this. I only could. Nah, I wanted it. When I leave my house on Monday, I'm working. Jackson knew. He knew, like, man, we in this truck, so I know what it is. Like, I'm working. That's what give me all the miles. But like I said, when I get a load and you give me 40 miles and then it delivers the next day, even on that, what I did, I would pick the load up, run it, and I'll get down there at the nearest truck stop. There's a truck stop right across the street from it. You literally are like 5 minutes away from going into it. And I would get there like at 11, 12 o'clock and then shut down. So, and that's what I kept doing. I just focused on, like, you know what? I need this 6 months experience. I just focused on getting the experience. I say, you know what? Just get the experience. So I stopped looking at the checks, looking at the money. I looked at the money when the deposit hit just to see, okay, yeah, 600. Yeah, oh, 700. Okay. Or I would really look at it when I did run those big loads just to see if the numbers were right. That's what I did. But I didn't focus on that for the last 3 months. I said, you know what? I'm going to just focus on getting this experience. So yeah, so complaining, no, never was me. Needy, no, never was me. I think somebody said I was selfish from that incident, what I did. If you call me selfish doing that, okay, I guess you could. I don't have any service failures. And I actually thought that was going to be a service failure or something. Um, Rail has a scorecard, shows you all these points you can get, and this is how they score you on your bonus. They didn't take it away. They didn't deduct anything out of it or anything. So I don't know. Like that was very interesting. And at that point, like I said, like if they were gonna write me up, I didn't care. He said it was a verbal warning. I'm like, cool, I'll take that. I at this point, I got to do what I got to do because, like, when you understand trucking is like it's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. It is not just a job. It takes a lot of your time. And for me, if I'm gonna give y'all all my time from Monday to Friday, I need to be compensated for it. That's it. That's it. I ain't asking nothing crazy. Like, yeah. And I'm gonna say this too, and then I'm gonna let y'all know what I'm doing now. What I didn't like, they had gave me this little pre-plan. This was like, I think the week before I left. They gave me a small little pre-plan. And that was the thing. For like 3 weeks, I started getting like crazy loads. My fleet manager messaged in the chat and he was just like, this is nuts. He said it. It's in their system. He said, this is nuts. He said, hold on. I'm going to try to figure something out and get you something else. It was a Monday. They had me leave my house. Now, my time is 4 a.m. They had me leave my house. That load didn't pick up to 2:30 p.m. And I'm just like, well, see, for a regional person, when you get lows like that, that messes you up for the whole week because you're supposed to be home on Friday or Saturday. And me not driving Monday, like I only drove, I think it picked up 60 miles from here and it came back to relay. It was a relay to Gary. And I'm like, that's it for the whole day. Like, I just knew that week was going to be bad. And it was a bad week. So, like, yeah, so, but the New York trip, I was only given because my fleet manager seen it and he seen they gave it to a student. They gave a student, it was a relay. I picked it up from Gary. He was already ready. You pick that load up and take it to New York. It was like 800 miles. And they were giving that to a student. He said, nah, I got a driver that could do that. Like, the man want miles. The man need money. He said that. And so they canceled that little small load and gave me to New York. And that's when I ended up in New York. Even when I went to New York, he was still trying to help. And I got to give it to him. Like I told them, I said that on the surveys. I said, you know what? Shout out to my fleet managers. They really are trying to set me up for success. Like when it came to them, he was like, all right, so when you drop that off, let me know because we're going to try to get you so you can get this load right after. But it didn't happen like that. So when I did go to Virginia, the same thing happened. When I delivered Monday, my next load didn't pick up to Wednesday. But he was trying to push it for Tuesday. That's what he was trying to have me pick it up for Tuesday. So I wasn't waiting. But in Virginia, I didn't mind because it's Virginia. Like I had not been in Virginia for a couple years and the weather was nice or whatever. So I just made the best of it. And that's what you see in my videos. Like all these videos I've done, I never complaining. I'm not mad or whatever. I just learned to make the best of it. I got these cards in my hand and I just did the best of it. And I got to a point where I'm just like, you know what? I'm at 6 months. What's out there? Let me look for another. What other opportunities are there now? Like with rail, I said, hey, I talked to an hourly driver. How you get hourly? I asked for dedicated. I asked for everything. And it's just like the way it's set up is made for like you new and you got to wait for about 1.5 years until you really can do something. And I'm just like, I just done got that time. Maybe I'm impatient. Y'all can call me impatient. But so what I'm doing now, I'm still trucking. I love driving a semi truck. Love it. The inner kid in me is like, man, I get out and I'm still amazed. Like, you know how to drive this? You learned how, like, you're doing this? So I love it. I love the culture. I've met drivers around the world. We chatted up, have good conversations, old and young. Like, it's been fun. It's been an adventure. I love that. But now I had an opportunity come to me, and I am now with Martin Transport, and I am now local, and I'm dedicated, and I come home every day. So when that was presented to me, and I could come home every day, and I'm making more money, guaranteed pay of $1,400 weekly. I'm not paid by the mile, I'm paid by the load. Based on how many loads I do, I go between two places. And that's it. If I want to make more money, I can. I can come out. I can work 6 days. I can run my clock as much as I can to do what I got to do. Like, that's what I wanted for trucking. And that's why, like, when I changed careers, I was working a salary job. And I knew it would be a change in pay. I knew that already. But I wanted to be more in control to be like, well, if I want to make more money, I'll run more. I didn't know I had to become national OTR. And that's something I'm not doing, because I'm sticking to my work-life balance. Like, I just feel like being on the road, like, that ain't for me for 30 days, 45 days. That's not it. So when I heard regional and it was presented to me, I'm just like, yeah, come home every day. I mean, come home weekly, 5.5 days. I never had a problem coming home Saturday morning. Some days it would be Saturday afternoon. I never had that problem. And then there were times when I was just like, hey, this week I'm not going to go home. I've done that. And because I wanted to see if the miles would add up. And like, sometimes it kind of worked. And sometimes it didn't. Because I remember one time I stayed out. I was going to stay out from Monday to the following Wednesday. And that weekend came, and that weekend was hard. Because I didn't have, one of the loads fell through. I went to go pick up that load. They was like, sorry, we had a power outage, and that load ain't going to be ready today. It's going to be ready tomorrow. And that was a Friday. And that was going to be my load for the weekend. And they were like, we're sorry. You can contact us tomorrow. So I called Rail, and I'm like, this is what's happening. So I end up going to the terminal in Wisconsin, and I just sat there. And I'm like, well, I could just went home. Oh yeah, let me say this. So, the way I left, I emailed my resignation, and 5 minutes later, my fleet manager called. And it actually was the same fleet manager from that incident of the last video that you guys seen. And the man flat out said, he was like, wow. He was like, I'm sad. He said, I am sad, and I did not see this coming. He was like, wow, you were such a dedicated worker. You always had a positive attitude. And wow. He was like, I did not see this coming. So that speaks volumes. So that me saying that to y'all should let y'all know, like, nah, like, oh, and for somebody even coming and saying, hey, maybe it was your hours of service. Maybe you didn't manage your clock. No, I managed my clock very well. I got on a split team. I was splitting my clock when I would be at shippers for 8-10 hours. That happened a lot in reefer. Sometimes you're there for 4 or 5 hours. I save my clock. I'll take a nap and make sure when I get out of there, I'm driving. Like, I drove as many miles as I could in a day. And I remember even coming back that last week, I remember driving my 14? I drove my 14 down to 14 minutes. And I was just like, nah, I'm getting on this Ohio Turnpike. And I made it. Like, I was that kind of person. Like, I took the job seriously. So, but I just got tired of that gamble. It was like, well, I got to play like I'm the fleet manager. And like, it got to a point where I'm like, I'm over here like hustling. Like, I was hustling, and I hustled. So yeah, but yeah, that conversation, he wished me the best. He was like, man, I wish you the best, and I hope it works for you. And he was like, are you still driving? Or I told him, I said, yeah, I got a different opportunity. And I told him it's local and I'll be home every night. And he was just like, wow, well, you cannot beat that. And he was just like, man, well, if it does not work out down the line, just know you can always come back to rail. So I just wanted to share that part with y'all. That's part 2. and let y'all know, hey, it wasn't all bad. And like I said before in that video, and even now, even on the live last night, I don't think Rail's a bad company at all. Maybe they have a bad formula for the way they get people. And get this, like, I just never understood, like, every time I go to the terminal, I'm seeing people training, people getting new trucks, new people. I'm like, how y'all getting them on the road and y'all can't fix the people that's here? Like, the people that's here, we trying to get miles. How they gonna get miles? Like, make you scratch your head. Like, how? I don't know. So, yeah, I just kind of got tired of that. But not only that, when this opportunity came, I said, what? Yeah, I'm taking this route. So, yeah, your boy is local now. And I'm smiling more because I'm like, wow, like, yeah, I feel like this is going to be really good for me. And that's the thing. You got to do what works for you. You got to do what works for you. Like, if you good on getting $600, $700, $800, and that's good to you, and you can do that for however long you want, then that's good. But for me, that's not good for me. I don't. I want to. I know my worth. I know the work ethic I put through and I put up. Like, when I tell y'all, like, Rail has never called me on anything and said, "Why you late?" Oh, I'm gonna address this too. Never overslept. When my 10-hour clock comes back, I'm right there pressing the button to get on duty to do my pre-trip. That's the kind of stuff I did. Like, I ain't played. That's how I've been all my life. Like, when I work, I work. Like, I don't give 50%. It's either I'm gonna do it or I'm not gonna do it. And so, like, I didn't play. Like, when pre-trip, when the clock 15 minutes hit and you done, I'm on the road. I'm gone. I like my Apple Watch. I have tons of timers on there. Boop, done. Let's go. Move. I barely like I got it down to a science with the bathroom breaks, because when you go to a truck stop, that can tear up your time. If you're just trying to go in there and use the bathroom, the best thing to do is stop at a rest stop, because you can get in and you can get out. But when you go to a truck stop, you probably got to wait to park somewhere. Somebody's blocking the fuel island if you're getting fuel. Like, it's a lot. So I learned how to manage my time and keep moving. And I just never, like, understood, like the way their scale is, like, if you run small loads, if you run any load under 200 miles, it pays more with the cent per mile. But anything 200 plus, you're getting your base pay. And so I'm like, well, just run me all the small loads, and because it's gonna pay more. But I would get like one of those and then back to this, pick this up one day, wait. Now, see, that will work best for a national person, because they not going home. So if you shoot them to Texas and they got to sit there for a day, then you shoot them to Missouri, then they got to wait for a day. But see, they're not going home. So, and maybe that's the issue about being a regional driver, is that home time that messes you up. It probably is, but like, don't advertise that saying regional home every weekend and you can get 12 to 1400 gross. Don't do that. Like, if y'all said gross is 8 to 1,000, then yeah, okay, cool. I could take that or leave it. I can accept that or not. So yeah, but that's it. This is gonna be the last video about Rail. Like I said, I don't have anything bad to say about them. I still would recommend them if you're learning to drive. If you never step foot in the semi, it's the place to go. It's the place to go. It's one of those places you can learn. You will learn, and see, that's the thing. That's why I worked and just focused on my experience, because I knew I still needed to get my experience up. If that was staying with them, or if that was going with somebody else. And to this day, like, if I didn't have an opportunity come up, I still would have been there. Like, I still would have been there, because I know I could get my experience up. That's what you got to think about. Like, so it's like you take a gamble. It's like, do I want the money? And then sometimes the money is just going to be down, but I need the experience. So yeah, so that's what I focused on the last 3 months and maybe 6 months, and I love. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys for supporting me. And like I said, yeah, you like I can't make everybody happy, but like I'm saying, this is my experience. This is what I chose to do. I hope this video finds you well and be blessed, everybody. Signing off.